Hi and welcome to Apex Atlas. Tonight, we leave the solid Earth behind to drift across a scattered constellation of coral and sand. We are journeying to the Maldives, an archipelago of more than 1,000 jewels, resting just above the mirror of the Indian Ocean. In this 2-hour chronicle, we will explore the quiet life of the atolls, the ancient seafaring spirit of the Dhivehi people, and the vibrant, silent world that thrives beneath the turquoise surface. From the sun-bleached shores of Maldives to the distant, untouched horizons of the southern deep, this is a study of a nation defined by the water. This journey is designed for your rest. The visuals have been softened to the colors of a tropical dusk, and my voice will remain a steady, calming anchor as we move through the history and geography of these islands. So, adjust your surroundings. Let the weight of the day sink beneath the surface. As the warm trade winds begin to blow through our story, let your mind follow the tide. Our odyssey through the Maldives begins now. Locations and borders. The Maldives sits like a scattered constellation in the Indian Ocean, far from the noise of continents and the rush of borders. Unlike countries defined by long land frontiers and neighboring cities, the Maldives is defined by water, endless, shifting, and alive. Stretching north to south for hundreds of kilometers, the country is made up of 26 natural atolls and over 1,000 coral islands, many of them tiny enough to walk across in minutes. From above, the Maldives looks almost unreal. Rings of reef enclosing bright lagoons, islands dotted like green brushstrokes, and deep blue channels cutting between them like ocean highways. Because it has no land borders, the Maldives feels naturally protected and peacefully separate. Its closest neighbors are across the sea, Sri Lanka to the northeast and India to the north, but the real borders of the Maldives are coral reefs, tides, and currents. Each atoll has its own atmosphere. Some are famous for luxury resorts and calm lagoons, while others are home to local islands where fishermen head out at dawn and children play football on sandy streets. Travel between atolls often involves speedboats, ferries, or domestic flights, and that movement becomes part of the experience, turning the journey itself into a kind of island-hopping adventure. The capital, Maldives, sits on one of the smallest islands, yet it feels like the country's beating heart, busy, compact, and bursting with life. In contrast, many outer islands feel quiet and untouched, where the horizon seems wider and time slows even further. In the Maldives, location isn't measured in miles of road, but in waves and distance, boat schedules and sea conditions. You don't drive across the country, you glide through it, watching the color of the ocean change as you move from one atoll to the next. This geography shapes everything: the culture, the cuisine, the pace of life, and the sense of escape that travelers remember most. The Maldives doesn't sit beside its neighbors, it floats apart, defined by the ocean that surrounds and sustains it. Landscapes and regions. The Maldives is a country made almost entirely of horizon. There are no towering mountain ranges, no wide highways cutting across valleys, just islands, scattered like stepping stones across the Indian Ocean, each one shaped by coral and surrounded by water so clear it looks like glass. The landscapes here are defined by atolls, giant rings of reef enclosing lagoons of bright turquoise. From the air, they look like natural masterpieces, circles, curves, and broken loops of coral where islands sit gently on the edge of endless blue. The reefs act like living walls, breaking waves and creating calm, shallow lagoons that glow in sunlight. Each island has its own character, but most share the same dreamy ingredients. Soft white sand, leaning palms, and a shoreline that seems to disappear into the sea. Some islands are so small you can walk around them in under an hour, with the ocean never far from view. The Maldives is often experienced through its two worlds. Resort islands are built for escape. These are the islands you picture in postcards: over-water villas, quiet beaches, and private lagoons where the only sound is the sea. Everything feels calm and curated, designed to let you slow down completely. Local islands reveal the Maldives as it truly lives. Here you'll find homes painted bright colors, little cafes serving fresh tuna dishes, boats tied to jetties, and the rhythm of everyday island life. The beaches are just as beautiful, but the experience feels more personal and culturally rich, and often far more affordable. Beyond the sand, the Maldives becomes even more dramatic underwater. Coral reefs surround most islands like living gardens, filled with tropical fish, turtles, rays, and reef sharks. The ocean isn't just scenery here, it's the main event. Even a short snorkel can feel like stepping into a nature documentary. If you travel further from the capital region, the islands begin to feel even more remote. Outer atolls offer longer boat journeys, fewer crowds, and a deeper sense of quiet. These regions are where the Maldives feels most untouched, where the night sky is darker, the sea is wilder, and the pace of life slows to the speed of waves. In the Maldives, landscapes don't rise upwards, they stretch outward. The beauty is not in height, but in space. The islands remind you that nature doesn't always need mountains to feel powerful. Sometimes, all it takes is calm water, endless sky, and a horizon that never seems to end. Climate and seasons. The Maldives is warm, tropical, and sun-soaked for most of the year, a place where seasons don't arrive with crisp air or falling leaves, but with changes in wind, rain, and the mood of the ocean. The weather here shapes everything: the color of the sea, the calmness of lagoons, and even the best days for snorkeling or boat trips. Rather than four seasons, the Maldives has two main ones. The dry season, often called the northeast monsoon, is the classic postcard Maldives. Days are bright, humidity is lower, and the sea is usually calmer and clearer. This is when the skies feel endless and blue, and the islands are at their most dreamy, perfect for beach days, island hopping, and long sunsets that seem to last forever. The wet season, the southwest monsoon, brings warmer humidity, dramatic clouds, and short bursts of heavy rain. The showers can be intense, but they often pass quickly, leaving the air fresh and the ocean glowing again within an hour. This season can still offer plenty of sunshine, but it comes with more unpredictability and rougher seas at times. One of the most fascinating parts of Maldivian weather is how quickly it can shift. A morning might be clear and calm, and by afternoon the sky can fill with rolling clouds and distant thunder, only to clear again by evening. The islands teach you to stop checking the forecast too obsessively and simply move with what the day brings. For travelers, climate affects more than comfort. Sea conditions matter for transfers and excursions. Calm days make snorkeling easy and boat rides smooth, while windier days can bring stronger currents and choppier crossings between islands. Even in the wetter months, the Maldives rarely feels cold. The ocean stays warm, and the air remains balmy. The biggest difference is the rhythm. Dry season feels gentle and predictable. Wet season feels wild, dramatic, and alive. Whichever time you visit, The Maldives always carries the same tropical promise: warm water, soft air, and the sound of waves never far away. Wildlife and biodiversity. In the Maldives, nature doesn't hide in forests or mountains. It lives in the reef, in the lagoon, and in the deep blue water just beyond the shore. Wildlife here feels close, immediate, and unforgettable. Even a short swim can turn into a once-in-a-lifetime encounter. The Maldives is famous for its marine biodiversity, and it doesn't take long to see why. Coral reefs wrap around the islands like living borders, filled with color and movement. Schools of reef fish flicker through the shallows, parrotfish crunch coral with surprising noise, and tiny clownfish dart through anemones like they own the place. One of the most magical moments for travelers is spotting a sea turtle gliding through the water with effortless calm. Turtles are common in many reef areas, often seen near coral gardens where they feed and rest. They move slowly, peacefully, as if the ocean is theirs alone. Further out, the Maldives becomes home to some of the sea's most iconic giants. Manta rays sweep through the water like underwater birds, their wings moving gracefully as they glide through currents. They gather in certain areas to feed, and seeing one pass beneath you is the kind of moment that makes everything else go quiet. The Maldives is also known for reef sharks, usually black-tip and white-tip reef sharks, which are harmless to swimmers and often spotted in lagoons or near drop-offs. They are sleek, curious, and surprisingly calm, adding a thrilling edge to snorkeling without the fear people often expect. Beyond reefs, dolphins are another highlight. Pods often swim alongside boats, leaping through waves and turning transfers into mini wildlife tours. At certain times of year, travelers may also encounter larger marine life further offshore, making the Maldives a dream destination for ocean lovers. Coral itself is the foundation of life here, delicate, essential, and vulnerable. Some reefs are healthy and vibrant, while others show signs of stress from warming seas. Conservation efforts are growing, and many resorts and dive centers now support coral restoration and reef protection. The Maldives reminds you that biodiversity isn't always something you search for. Sometimes, it surrounds you. The water here isn't just scenery. It's an entire world, alive beneath the surface, waiting quietly for you to look closer. Natural wonders. The Maldives doesn't need mountains or waterfalls to feel breathtaking. Its natural wonders are made of light, water, coral, and space, the kind of beauty that feels almost unreal because it's so calm, so clean, and so perfectly placed. The first wonder is the atolls themselves. These natural rings of coral, formed over thousands of years, create lagoons so bright they look painted. From above, the Maldives appears like a chain of turquoise halos scattered across deep ocean blue. It's not just geography, it's a natural masterpiece. One of the most mesmerizing wonders is the coral reef drop-off. Step into the lagoon and you might find shallow water you can stand in. And then, suddenly, the seabed falls away into the dark blue depths. That dramatic shift, from gentle calm to endless ocean, is one of the Maldives' most unforgettable sights, especially when reef fish and sharks glide along the edge. Then there are the sandbanks, tiny, shifting islands of pure white sand that appear in the middle of the sea. Some are only visible at low tide, perfect for a picnic, a walk, or a moment that feels like you've been dropped into the center of the ocean with nothing but sky and silence. In certain places, nature puts on a show at night. The Maldives is famous for bioluminescent plankton, sometimes called Sea of Stars. On the right evening, the shoreline sparkles as waves roll in, glowing blue in the dark like the sea has been filled with starlight. It's rare and unpredictable, but unforgettable if you catch it. Sunsets here feel like a natural wonder too. The horizon is wide and uninterrupted, so the sky becomes the main event, melting from gold to pink to violet, reflected perfectly across still water. Some evenings feel so still it's hard to tell where the ocean ends and the sky begins. And finally, the underwater world itself is one of the Maldives' greatest wonders. Coral gardens, manta rays, turtles, reef sharks, and swirling schools of fish turn snorkeling into a front-row seat to nature at its most alive. The Maldives doesn't overwhelm you with noise or scale. It amazes you with simplicity, with how beautiful the world can be when nothing blocks the horizon. National parks and reserves. In the Maldives, protected nature isn't found in vast forests or mountain ranges, it lives in the sea. Conservation here focuses on what matters most: coral reefs, marine life, lagoons, and the fragile ecosystems that keep the islands alive. While the Maldives is famous for luxury and relaxation, it's also home to important marine protected areas where nature is given space to recover and thrive. These reserves protect coral gardens, fish populations, turtle habitats, and feeding zones for manta rays and sharks, not just for tourism, but for the long-term health of the ocean itself. One of the most well-known protected regions is Baa Atoll, recognized for its extraordinary marine biodiversity. During certain seasons, plankton-rich waters attract huge gatherings of manta rays and whale sharks, turning the area into one of the best wildlife experiences in the world. Snorkeling or diving here can feel like drifting through a living aquarium, calm, silent, and unforgettable. In other atolls, smaller protected zones exist around reefs, channels, and lagoons, often supported by local communities, dive centers, and resorts. Many islands now run coral restoration projects, where broken coral fragments are carefully grown and replanted to strengthen damaged reefs. On land, nature reserves are smaller, but still meaningful. Some islands protect mangroves, wetlands, and coastal vegetation that prevent erosion and provide habitats for birds and local wildlife. These green spaces may be quiet and easy to overlook, until you realize they help keep the island stable against tides and storms. The Maldives also takes marine life seriously. Turtle nesting areas, manta cleaning stations, and coral no-touch rules are increasingly common. Responsible operators encourage respectful wildlife encounters, teaching visitors how to observe without disturbing delicate ecosystems. Exploring these protected areas brings a deeper appreciation of the Maldives. It's not just paradise, it's a place balancing beauty with vulnerability and relaxation with responsibility. To travel here well is to enjoy the magic, but also to protect it, by choosing reef-safe sunscreen, avoiding coral contact, and supporting tours that respect the ocean. Mountains and hiking routes. The Maldives is famous for its horizon-wide oceans and palm-lined beaches, not for peaks or mountain trails. In fact, this is one of the flattest countries on Earth, where the highest points are only a few meters above sea level. But that doesn't mean there's no adventure here. It's simply a different kind of journey. Instead of climbing mountains, the Maldives invites you to explore sand paths, coastal walks, and lagoon adventures, where the routes are shaped by tide, sunlight, and sea breeze rather than altitude. On local islands, you can walk from one side of the island to the other in minutes, following narrow lanes lined with tropical trees, colorful homes, and sleepy cafes. These small walks become surprisingly memorable, not because they're challenging, but because they slow you down. You notice the details, the sound of boats returning, the scent of coconut smoke, the calm rhythm of island life. Many travelers find their favorite trail is simply the shoreline itself. A barefoot beach walk at sunrise feels like a pilgrimage, soft sand, warm air, and the ocean turning gold. At sunset, the walk becomes quieter, with long shadows and the feeling that the day is gently closing. If you want something closer to a hike, some islands offer walks through mangrove areas and small nature zones, where you'll find shaded paths, birdsong, and a different view of the Maldives beyond the beach. For true adventure, the Maldives replaces hiking routes with snorkeling routes, coral gardens that stretch like underwater trails, guiding you past reef fish, turtles, rays, and coral formations. Here, the summit moments happen beneath the surface, turning your head and seeing a manta glide past, or watching a turtle rise for air in slow motion. And for those who still crave a challenge, island hopping becomes its own kind of trek. Moving between islands by ferry or speedboat, carrying only what you need, watching the atolls shift across the horizon, it feels like a journey across a floating world. The Maldives may not offer mountains, but it offers something just as rare, the chance to explore without rushing, where adventure is measured in moments, not meters climbed. Rivers and lakes. The Maldives is a country shaped entirely by the ocean. So unlike many destinations, it has no rivers flowing from mountains and no large freshwater lakes tucked inland. Here, water doesn't travel downhill. It surrounds everything, defining life from every direction. But that doesn't mean the Maldives is without freshwater or natural water worlds. Instead of rivers and lakes, you'll find lagoons, coastal wetlands, and hidden island water habitats, each one quietly important to the balance of island life. The most defining water feature in the Maldives is the lagoon. Every atoll cradles its own shallow, turquoise waters, protected by coral reefs like a natural barrier. These lagoons are calm enough to paddleboard across, clear enough to see fish beneath your feet, and wide enough to feel like open sea without the roughness of waves. In the Maldives, lagoons are the equivalent of inland lakes, peaceful, reflective, and endlessly beautiful. Some islands also have small brackish ponds or wetland areas, often found in the interior. These are not tourist hotspots, but they are ecologically valuable. They support birdlife, provide natural drainage during heavy rain, and help keep island ecosystems healthy. On certain local islands, you may come across mangrove areas where saltwater and freshwater mix. These spaces feel different from the beach, shaded, quiet, and alive with subtle movement. The air is still, roots twist into the water, and you see the Maldives as a living environment rather than just a postcard escape. Freshwater in the Maldives is precious. Many islands rely on rainwater collection and desalination, which makes the presence of natural freshwater habitats even more meaningful. Water here is something to respect, not just for swimming and beauty, but for survival. So while you won't find river valleys or lake districts, you'll find something unique, a country where the water doesn't guide you inland, it guides you outward, into lagoons, reefs, and endless blue. Caving and underground worlds. The Maldives is not a country of cliffs, caves, or deep underground tunnels. It's a country made of coral and ocean, where the land is low and the earth beneath your feet is shaped by reefs rather than rock. So if you're imagining dramatic limestone caverns like in Vietnam or Bosnia, the Maldives is completely different. But the Maldives does have an underworld, it just isn't underground. Here, the true hidden world is beneath the surface of the sea. Slip into the water and you enter the Maldives' real underworld. Coral walls, reef drop-offs, and underwater channels where the ocean suddenly falls away into dark blue depth. The shift is instant. One moment you're floating over shallow sand, the next you're peering into a deep, silent world where bigger marine life glides past like shadows. Instead of caves carved into mountains, the Maldives offers reef caves and overhangs formed by coral structures and underwater erosion. Divers often explore small swim-throughs, coral archways, and sheltered reef pockets where creatures hide from the current. These spaces feel mysterious and quiet, like nature's underwater corridors. In deeper waters, channels between islands act like underwater highways. These are the places where strong currents bring life, manta rays feeding, reef sharks cruising, schools of fish swirling in huge numbers. It can feel like entering a hidden kingdom, where the ocean has its own rules and rhythm. And then there's the most magical underworld moment of all, the sea at night. In the right conditions, bioluminescent plankton can light up the shoreline like stars scattered in the surf. It's not a cave, but it feels just as unreal, a secret world revealed only in darkness. So while the Maldives won't give you tunnels to walk through, it offers something rarer, an underworld you can float above, swim into, and explore with a mask and snorkel. The Maldives' mysteries aren't buried beneath stone, they're hidden beneath calm turquoise water, waiting quietly for you to look down. Festivals and celebrations. Festivals in the Maldives don't arrive with huge crowds or towering parades. They arrive with community, faith, and an island rhythm that feels personal rather than performative. Celebrations here are deeply rooted in Maldivian identity, shaped by tradition, the ocean, and a strong sense of togetherness. Because the Maldives is a Muslim-majority country, many of the most important festivals follow the Islamic calendar, which moves slightly each year. When these celebrations come, the atmosphere changes across the islands. Shops may close, families gather, and the pace of life slows even further, not out of laziness, but out of respect. One of the most meaningful celebrations is Eid al-Fitr, marking the end of Ramadan. After a month of fasting, reflection, and evening meals shared with family, Eid feels joyful and warm. Homes fill with food, people dress in their best clothes, and greetings carry extra meaning. Even as a visitor, you can feel the sense of gratitude in the air, a calm happiness that spreads through neighborhoods and beaches alike. Eid al-Adha is another major occasion, centered on faith, generosity, and giving. Families gather again, and there is a strong focus on community support. On local islands, these days are often filled with shared meals, visiting relatives, and quiet celebration rather than loud display. Beyond religious holidays, the Maldives celebrates national pride through Independence Day and other public events. Flags appear, cultural performances take place, and communities come together in a way that feels proudly Maldivian. You may see traditional drumming, dancing, and organized gatherings, especially in Mail where the celebrations are usually the largest. Local island life also includes smaller celebrations, weddings, boat launches, fishing milestones, moments that feel less like tourist events and more like genuine community occasions. Sometimes you'll hear music drifting through the evening air, see people gathering near the waterfront, and realize you've stumbled upon something real and local. Unlike festival-heavy destinations, the Maldives celebrates in a quieter way, but that's part of its charm. Joy here is often gentle: shared food, shared time, shared faith, and the feeling of belonging to a place shaped by the sea. Food and drink. Food in the Maldives is shaped by three things: the ocean, the islands, and spice. It's simple, comforting, and full of flavor, the kind of cuisine that feels fresh because it's built around what the sea provides each day. The heart of Maldivian cooking is tuna. It appears everywhere: grilled, smoked, dried, curried, shredded into salads, or mixed into rich coconut-based dishes. On local islands, tuna isn't a special meal, it's everyday life, caught from the surrounding waters and prepared with skill that has been passed down for generations. One of the most traditional flavors you'll notice is the combination of coconut, chili, and lime. Coconut isn't just used for sweetness, it adds depth and richness, especially in curries and soups. Meals often come with rice, flatbreads, or small snacks that are perfect for eating slowly in the heat. Breakfast can be surprisingly memorable. Many locals start the day with small bites, warm tea, and savory dishes that feel hearty without being heavy. If you're staying on a local island, trying a traditional breakfast is one of the easiest ways to connect with everyday Maldivian life. Resort dining offers a different experience entirely. Luxury islands bring global cuisine, fresh seafood grills, tropical fruit platters, international buffet, fine dining, and beachside cocktails. It's polished and indulgent, designed for comfort and escape. On local islands, alcohol is not served publicly due to Islamic law, but resorts have full bars and cocktail menus. This contrast is part of the Maldives' unique travel experience. Local islands feel cultural and grounded, while resort islands feel private and indulgent. Drinking is all about refreshment. Fresh juices, coconut water, iced coffees, and teas fit perfectly with the climate. Staying hydrated matters here, and you'll quickly learn to appreciate cold drinks after time in the sun. The Maldives isn't a destination for complex, layered food scenes like big cities, but that's part of the charm. The best meals often feel honest: freshly cooked fish, warm rice, sea air, and a view you'll never forget. Arts and music. The Maldives may be known for its beaches and turquoise lagoons, but its culture carries a quieter beauty, expressed through rhythm, storytelling, and traditions shaped by island life. Here, art and music aren't always displayed in galleries or grand theaters. They live in community gatherings, celebrations, and the gentle pride of a nation built on the sea. Traditional Maldivian music often feels deeply connected to movement. One of the most well-known performances is Bodu Baru, which translates to big drum. It's exactly what it sounds like: powerful drumming, rising tempo, and dancers moving with the rhythm until the energy becomes contagious. What begins steady and controlled often builds into something joyful and intense, like a wave gathering strength before it breaks. Bodu Baru performances are usually seen at cultural evenings, festivals, and special occasions, especially in male or through resort entertainment. Even when presented for visitors, the heart of it feels real, a communal tradition, not just a show. Maldivian arts are also influenced by the island environment. Crafts often draw on natural materials: coconut palm, shells, coral stone, historically, and wood. Patterns and designs reflect a life surrounded by water, practical beauty shaped by what is available and durable. Storytelling plays an important role too. On islands, stories travel easily, shared through conversation, family history, and local knowledge passed down through generations. There is a strong sense of cultural memory, even in a country where landscapes can feel minimal and fragile. Modern Maldivian culture is evolving, especially among younger generations. In male, creative expression includes contemporary music, design, and media, influenced by global trends while still rooted in island identity. You'll notice this blend in fashion, cafes, and the way the capital feels more fast-paced than the outer atolls. In the Maldives, art and music are not separate from daily life. They are woven into celebration, identity, and community, a reminder that even in a place that feels like paradise, culture still beats at the center. Clothing and fashion. In the Maldives, clothing is shaped by the sun, the sea, and tradition. Life on the islands is warm and relaxed, but cultural values remain important, creating a style that balances comfort with modesty, especially outside resort settings. On resort islands, fashion feels effortless and holiday-ready. Swimwear, shorts, floaty dresses, and light beachwear are normal, and the atmosphere is international. Days often begin barefoot and sunlit, and outfits match the pace: simple, minimal, and made for water. On local islands, clothing becomes more culturally mindful. The Maldives is a Muslim-majority country, and modest dress is expected in public areas. Visitors don't need to dress formally, but shoulders and thighs are usually covered when walking around town, visiting cafes, or using ferries. Lightweight trousers, maxi skirts, loose shirts, and breathable fabrics fit perfectly with both the climate and local etiquette. Many local islands have designated bikini beaches for tourists, where swimwear is acceptable. Outside these areas, swimming is still possible, but it's best to wear a t-shirt or cover-up out of respect. Traditional Maldivian clothing has its own elegance. Women may wear colorful garments and headscarves, especially for religious occasions, celebrations, or formal gatherings. Men often wear light shirts and trousers in daily life, with traditional pieces appearing during cultural events. In male, style becomes more urban. You'll see modern streetwear, smart casual outfits, and fashionable touches influenced by global trends. Even there, the overall look remains modest and practical, designed for heat, movement, and daily routines. The Maldives isn't a destination where fashion demands attention. Instead, it reflects the environment, relaxed, sun-friendly, and easy to wear. The best approach for travelers is to pack clothes that are light, breathable, and respectful, so you can feel comfortable whether you're island hopping locally or sipping drinks by the sea. Language and literature. In the Maldives, language feels like another part of the islands, unique, flowing, and shaped by centuries of ocean travel. While the country may look small on a map, its identity is deep, and the Maldivian language carries that history quietly in every conversation. The official language is Dhivehi, spoken across the islands with warmth and pride. To visitors, it can sound rhythmic and unfamiliar, with words that reflect the Maldives' seafaring past and island culture. Even though many locals speak excellent English, especially in resorts, hotels, and tourist areas, hearing Dhivehi spoken in markets, ferry terminals, and island cafes gives you a more authentic sense of place. Dhivehi is written in a script called Thanana, which looks striking and beautiful, almost like decorative calligraphy. Seeing Thanana on signs, documents, and storefronts is a reminder that the Maldives has its own strong cultural roots, distinct from its neighbors. Maldivian storytelling has long been passed down through oral traditions, shared through family history, island legends, and everyday conversation. On islands where communities are close-knit, stories travel easily. People remember the sea, storms, journeys, fishing days, and moments of resilience. These stories become part of identity, shaping how island life is understood and remembered. While the Maldives may not be internationally known for large literary movements, it holds something just as valuable, a culture where language connects directly to life. Knowledge is shared person to person, between generations, neighbors, and travelers who pause long enough to listen. Poetry and song also play a role in cultural expression, often tied to music, celebrations, and traditional performances. Words here are not always written down. Sometimes they are carried in rhythm, memory, and community events. For travelers, learning a few basic phrases can unlock warmer interactions. Simple greetings and polite words are appreciated, and they show respect in a country where hospitality matters. In the Maldives, language doesn't compete with the scenery. It complements it, like the soft sound of voices in the evening, drifting across an island that feels small but holds a world of history within it. Religion and spiritual life. Spiritual life in the Maldives is quietly woven into everyday routines. Unlike some destinations where religion is seen mainly in grand monuments, here it is felt in the rhythm of the day, in community values, daily prayer times, and the calm sense of respect that shapes public life. The Maldives is a Muslim-majority country, and Islam plays a central role in culture and identity. This influence is visible in the way islands are organized, how people dress in local areas, and how celebrations unfold throughout the year. But for travelers, it often shows itself most clearly through atmosphere. The islands feel peaceful, orderly, and community-focused. On local islands and in Mail, you'll hear the call to prayer echoed gently from mosques, especially at sunrise and evening. It becomes part of the island soundtrack, a reminder that life here follows both the sea and spiritual time. Mosques in the Maldives are beautiful in a simple, meaningful way. Many are modest in size, built for community rather than display. Some older mosques include historic coral stone architecture, connecting faith to the natural environment the Maldives is built upon. During Ramadan, spiritual life becomes even more visible. The pace of the day can feel quieter, with more reflection and family gathering in the evenings. Travelers visiting during this time often notice a deeper sense of togetherness, and it's a respectful time to be mindful in local areas. Religion also shapes cultural etiquette. Modesty, kindness, patience, and respect for others are strongly valued. Visitors are not expected to practice local religion, but being considerate, especially in local communities, is appreciated and helps interactions feel comfortable and genuine. In resorts, the atmosphere is more international, but the country's spiritual foundations remain part of its identity. The Maldives holds a balance between welcoming travelers and preserving cultural values, which is one of the reasons it feels both relaxing and grounded. Spiritual life here isn't loud. It isn't designed for visitors. It's steady, lived, and deeply connected to community, like the tide itself, always present, even when it's quiet. Customs and etiquette. The Maldives is warm, welcoming, and wonderfully peaceful, but it's also a country where respect and modesty matter, especially on local islands. Understanding a few customs helps travelers feel comfortable, avoid awkward moments, and experience the Maldives in a way that feels genuinely connected to local life. On resort islands, etiquette is relaxed and international. Swimwear, cocktails, and holiday routines are normal. But on local islands and in Mail, the Maldives follows cultural values rooted in Islamic tradition, and public behavior is more modest and community-minded. Dress respectfully when walking around inhabited islands. Light clothing is perfect for the heat, but visitors should cover shoulders and thighs in public areas. Swimsuits are usually reserved for resort beaches or designated bikini beaches on local islands. Packing a simple cover-up, loose shirt, or long dress makes island hopping easier and more respectful. The Maldivian style of communication is usually polite and calm. Loud confrontations, public anger, or overly direct behavior can feel uncomfortable in quieter communities. A relaxed tone and a smile go a long way, and you'll often find locals respond with warmth and helpfulness. When visiting mosques or religious areas, modest clothing is essential, and shoes should be removed where required. Even if you don't enter a mosque, being respectful around prayer spaces is appreciated. Alcohol is an important cultural point. Alcohol is not available on local islands, and bringing it onto inhabited islands is not permitted. Resorts, however, serve alcohol freely. This difference is one of the clearest examples of how the Maldives balances local culture with international tourism. Public displays of affection should be kept minimal on local islands. Couples are of course welcome everywhere, but affection is best kept subtle in public areas out of respect for local norms. Photography is generally fine, but it's polite to ask before taking close-up photos of local people, especially in smaller communities. The Maldives is friendly, but privacy and dignity are valued. Finally, the Maldives runs on island time. Things can feel slower, more gentle, and less rushed than in big cities. Patience isn't just polite here, it's part of the experience. The Maldives teaches you to soften your pace and enjoy life as it comes. Handicrafts and traditions. In the Maldives, tradition is shaped by the sea. With islands scattered across the Indian Ocean, life has always depended on skill, resourcefulness, and community, and Maldivian handicrafts reflect that perfectly. Here, crafts aren't just decorative. They are practical, cultural, and deeply tied to island identity. One of the most recognizable Maldivian traditions is boat building. The ocean has always been the country's lifeline, and for centuries Maldivians have built beautiful wooden boats known as donis. These vessels were once used for fishing and travel between islands, and even today they remain a symbol of the Maldives, whether seen in harbors at sunrise or carrying travelers across turquoise lagoons. Handicrafts often use natural island materials. Coconut palms are especially important, providing wood, fiber, and leaves that can be woven and shaped into everyday items. On local islands, you may still find handmade mats, ropes, baskets, and small household tools crafted in the same way they have been for generations. Another long-standing tradition is lacquer work, particularly associated with certain islands. These lacquered objects are colorful, carefully polished, and often decorated with bold patterns. Items like bowls, boxes, and ornaments are created with patience and precision, and they make meaningful souvenirs because they carry true cultural heritage rather than mass production. Weaving also plays a role in traditional island life. Woven mats and textiles were historically used in homes for sleeping, sitting, and prayer spaces, showing how craft and daily life overlap naturally in Maldivian culture. Traditions aren't only in objects, they're in everyday routines. Fishing remains central to national identity, and the rhythm of island life still follows the sea. Early mornings, boat departures, and the quiet satisfaction of returning with the day's catch. Meals, celebrations, and family life all reflect this connection. Community traditions are strong across the atolls. On local islands, people gather for religious holidays, weddings, and cultural nights where music, drumming, and dance bring everyone together. These moments feel genuine and grounded, less about performance and more about belonging. The Maldives may look like a paradise escape, but beneath that beauty is a culture built on craft, sea skill, and tradition, quietly preserved across islands that have always depended on one another. Architecture through the ages. Architecture in the Maldives is shaped by a simple truth: the ocean is always close. With salty air, strong sun, seasonal storms, and limited land, Maldivian buildings have always been designed to be practical, breathable, and resilient. The result is a style that doesn't try to overpower the environment, it works with it. Traditionally, homes on local islands were built using materials that were readily available: timber, coral stone, historically, and coconut palm. Houses were often low-rise and open in design, built to allow airflow in the tropical heat. Shaded verandas, breezy interiors, and simple layouts reflected island life, functional, calm, and family-focused. One of the most meaningful historical architectural traditions is found in the Maldives' older mosques. Some were once built using carved coral stone, with detailed craftsmanship and beautiful simplicity. These structures reflect the country's spiritual life as well as its ability to create lasting beauty from limited materials. In the capital, Male, architecture tells a different story, modern, dense, and constantly evolving. With so many people living on a small island, buildings rise higher and space is used carefully. Male feels urban and compact, filled with colorful apartment blocks, shops, and mosques, showing how the Maldives adapts to modern life while staying rooted in its island setting. The most internationally recognized Maldivian architecture is, of course, found on resort islands. Overwater villas, wooden boardwalks, infinity pools, and open-air lounges create the postcard Maldives look. These designs are built for relaxation and privacy, often blending local materials with modern luxury. Resort architecture is usually low impact in appearance, natural wood tones, palm roofs, and buildings that sit gently on the sand or water. The goal is to keep the view uninterrupted, sea, sky, and horizon. Even the most luxurious resorts tend to feel minimal, designed to disappear into the landscape rather than compete with it. More recently, eco-friendly architecture has grown in popularity. Resorts and guesthouses increasingly focus on sustainability, solar power, water management, and designs that reduce environmental impact, a practical response to climate change and rising sea levels. The Maldives' architecture is not about grand monuments. It's about survival and beauty in balance. Buildings made to handle the elements, welcome the breeze, and keep life calm and comfortable by the sea. Ancient origins. The Maldives may look like a modern paradise of overwater villas and endless lagoons, but its story begins long before tourism, shaped by sea routes, survival, and island communities learning how to live with the ocean as both neighbor and guardian. Unlike countries with ancient cities and stone fortresses, the Maldives' earliest history feels quieter and more mysterious. These islands were never built for empires marching across borders. They were built for sailors, fishermen, and travelers who followed the winds. The Maldives sat along important Indian Ocean trade routes, and for centuries, ships passing between Arabia, East Africa, India, and Southeast Asia used the atolls as stepping stones across the sea. Early settlers were drawn to the islands not for farmland or mountains, but for what the ocean offered: fish, coconuts, and safe lagoons. Life here was always shaped by limited land and abundant water, so communities became resourceful, close-knit, and deeply connected to the sea. The Maldives is believed to have had early links with South Asia, particularly the Indian subcontinent and Sri Lanka. Over time, the islands developed a distinct identity, its own language, customs, and way of life, influenced by the movement of people and ideas across the ocean. Before the Maldives became an Islamic nation, the islands were influenced by Buddhism, and traces of this era exist in archaeological remains and historical references. This period reminds us that Maldivian identity has evolved through different spiritual and cultural chapters, shaped by its position between worlds. Eventually, Islam became the defining faith of the islands, shaping law, culture, and daily life in ways that still guide the Maldives today. But even as beliefs changed, the deeper foundations remained the same: island community, maritime skill, and resilience. The ancient origins of the Maldives are not written in towering ruins. They are written in movement, in boats crossing lagoons, in coral-built settlements, in a culture that learned early that survival depends on cooperation and respect for nature. To travel the Maldives now is to experience the final, beautiful result of that long history, a nation shaped by the sea, still living in rhythm with it, just as the earliest islanders once did. Kingdoms and empires. The Maldives has never been a land of vast empires and marching armies. Its power has always been something different. Here, history was shaped by the sea, by island rulers protecting trade routes, and by communities staying united across an ocean scattered with tiny islands. For centuries, the Maldives existed as a sultanate, ruled by kings and sultans who governed from the capital and maintained control over far-flung atolls. Leadership in the Maldives wasn't about conquering neighboring countries, it was about holding together a nation separated by water, ensuring safe travel between islands, and protecting the country's position along important Indian Ocean routes. The ocean brought opportunity, but also risk. Foreign ships and trading powers passed constantly through the region, and the Maldives had to navigate relationships carefully. Its wealth and importance often came from trade and maritime influence rather than land resources. This meant the Maldives was connected to the wider world far earlier than many people realize. Islam became central to Maldivian identity during the medieval era, and the Sultanate of the Maldives grew into a stable system of governance that shaped law, customs, and society for generations. Even today, many traditions and cultural values trace their roots back to this period of sultans, religious scholars, and island administration. Unlike some nations, the Maldives didn't build huge castles or giant city walls, partly because coral islands don't easily support heavy construction, and partly because the sea itself was both barrier and defense. Instead, the Maldives relied on navigation skill, diplomacy, and local unity to maintain its independence through changing times. The country's history of rulers also reflects the reality of island life. Leadership changed, dynasties rose and fell, and outside influence came and went, but the Maldives remained. Its identity stayed strong because it was rooted in everyday survival, fishing, boat building, island family life, and shared faith. In many ways, the Maldives Empire was never about territory. It was about connection, linking islands across a vast ocean and keeping a scattered nation united by culture, tradition, and the sea. Colonial and foreign influence. The Maldives may feel peaceful and remote today, but its position in the Indian Ocean has always made it part of a much bigger world. For centuries, these islands sat along major sea routes linking Arabia, East Africa, India, and Southeast Asia, meaning foreign influence arrived not through land borders, but by ship. Merchants and travelers brought ideas, trade, and cultural exchange. Spices, textiles, tools, and traditions flowed through the region, shaping island life subtly over time. The Maldives learned early how to balance openness with independence, welcoming connection without losing its identity. One of the most important influences in Maldivian history was the arrival of Islam, which became the defining faith of the islands and shaped society, law, customs, and daily life. This spiritual shift connected the Maldives more closely to the wider Muslim world, strengthening cultural ties across the ocean. Later, European colonial powers began expanding across the Indian Ocean, and the Maldives faced a new kind of pressure. Rather than being fully colonized like some neighboring regions, the Maldives became a British protectorate, meaning the country kept local leadership while Britain controlled certain aspects of defense and foreign affairs. It was a relationship based on influence more than occupation, but it still left lasting marks on governance and international connections. Even under foreign influence, the Maldives remained deeply Maldivian. Island communities held on to their language, cultural values, and traditions, continuing everyday life in a way that stayed grounded and familiar. The sea remained the country's true center, guiding trade, survival, and identity no matter who held power beyond the horizon. In modern times, foreign influence has arrived in a different form: tourism. Resorts brought global visitors, international investment, and new opportunities. This has transformed the Maldives' economy and opened it to the world, while also creating challenges around sustainability, cultural balance, and environmental protection. The Maldives today is shaped by this long history of outside contact. It has learned to adapt without being erased, to welcome the world while still protecting its core identity. Struggles and revolutions. The Maldives often feels calm and untouched by conflict, a place of soft waves, quiet islands, and endless blue. But like any nation, its story includes moments of challenge, tension, and transformation. The struggles of the Maldives were not fought across mountain borders or in massive wars. They were shaped by politics, independence, and the difficult task of protecting identity on a scattered chain of islands. For much of its history, the Maldives was ruled by sultans, with leadership centered in the capital and influence reaching outward across distant atolls. This system created stability, but it also placed huge importance on central authority, and as the modern world changed, pressure grew for reform. During the period of British protectorate status, the Maldives remained self-governed in many ways, but foreign influence still sat in the background. Over time, the desire for full independence strengthened, and national identity became more sharply defined. The islands were connected by culture and faith, but also separated by geography, making unity both essential and challenging. The mid-20th century became a turning point. Political change arrived, shifting power structures and transforming the Maldives from its older systems into a modern state. Leadership changed, reforms were introduced, and the country began moving toward a new national future. Struggle in the Maldives has often meant balancing tradition with progress. Political shifts, public debate, and periods of uncertainty have shaped the nation's modern identity. At times, these changes have come quickly, testing how a small country stays stable while still evolving. Another ongoing struggle is environmental, one that feels especially real here. The Maldives is one of the world's lowest-lying nations, making it vulnerable to sea level rise and climate change. For Maldivians, protecting the future is not just about politics. It's about survival. The ocean that provides beauty and livelihood also brings risk, and this reality has become one of the Maldives' most defining modern challenges. Yet the story of struggle in the Maldives is also a story of resilience. The country has adapted again and again, through political change, economic transformation, and environmental uncertainty, while continuing to welcome the world with warmth and calm. The Maldives' revolutions were not always loud. Many were quiet, gradual shifts, the kind that happen in government buildings, community conversations, and the slow turning of a nation toward its future.
Modern nationhood. Modern Maldives is a story of transformation. In a relatively short period of time, the country shifted from a traditional island kingdom to a modern nation navigating global attention, tourism, and one of the most fragile environments on Earth. After centuries of sultanate rule and a period as a British protectorate, the Maldives moved toward full independence and modern governance. This transition wasn't just political, it was cultural too. The Maldives had to build national systems that could serve a country scattered across many atolls, where travel depends on boats and distance is measured in ocean. Over time, the Maldives developed the institutions of a modern state: government structures, education systems, improved healthcare, and international relationships. The capital, Male, became the center of administration and national decision-making, growing into a dense and energetic city island unlike anywhere else in the country. But the biggest modern shift came with tourism. What began as a small industry eventually became the backbone of the economy, changing the Maldives' relationship with the outside world. Resorts introduced jobs, infrastructure, and investment, but also brought the challenge of balance, protecting culture, managing resources, and preserving the natural beauty that draws visitors in the first place. Modern nationhood in the Maldives is also defined by connection. With remote atolls spread far apart, the country relies on transport links, digital communication, and shared national identity to stay united. A sense of belonging matters deeply here, because geography constantly tests the idea of one nation. The Maldives also carries a powerful modern identity as a symbol of climate vulnerability. As sea levels rise, the Maldives has become one of the most recognized countries in global climate discussions, not because it is loud, but because its reality is undeniable. The fight for the future is not abstract here. It is personal. And yet, despite the challenges, modern Maldives remains hopeful. It continues to develop, diversify, and strengthen its global presence, while protecting the values that have shaped island life for generations: faith, family, community, and respect for the sea. Modern Maldives is not just a tropical destination. It is a nation balancing tradition, progress, and survival, building a future on islands that have always lived closely with the ocean. Today's identity. The Maldives today is more than a luxury escape. It is a country balancing two worlds, local island life and global tourism, while holding tightly to its cultural roots. Its identity is shaped by community, faith, and the sea, but also by the modern reality of welcoming travelers from every corner of the world. On local islands, life moves with familiar rhythm. Fishermen head out early, schools open in the morning heat, families gather in the evenings, and conversations drift between neighbors like a gentle tide. Community here is not a concept, it's daily life. Everyone knows everyone, and the islands feel like small worlds where connection matters. In Male, identity feels faster and more modern. The capital is crowded, energetic, and constantly moving. Shops, cafes, ferries, and scooters fill the streets, and the city feels like the Maldives' busiest heartbeat. It's where national decisions happen, where young people chase opportunities, and where the country's future feels most visible. Tourism adds another layer. Resorts represent a world of privacy and indulgence, over-water villas, perfect beaches, effortless comfort. At the same time, the Maldives is proud of its hospitality, and tourism is not just business, it's part of modern life. The challenge is balance, keeping tourism strong without losing culture, community, or environmental stability. Faith remains central to the country's identity. The Maldives is deeply rooted in Islam, and this shapes public life, etiquette, and the way communities function. Even for travelers who are simply here for the sea, you can sense the calm order and respectful atmosphere it creates. The Maldivian relationship with nature is also part of identity. The ocean provides work, food, and beauty, but it also brings vulnerability. Climate change is not a distant topic here. It is something people live beside every day, and it has become a powerful part of the Maldives' modern voice in the world. Despite the contrast between resort and local life, the heart of Maldivian identity remains consistent: modesty, warmth, pride, and resilience. The Maldives doesn't try to impress you with loud energy, it stays true to its quiet strength. To visit the Maldives is to see a country that feels peaceful on the surface, but deeply layered underneath. It is a nation shaped by water, held together by community, and defined by the calm determination to protect what makes it unique. Top cities, towns, and islands. In the Maldives, cities and towns look different to most countries. There are no sprawling inland hubs or long highways connecting regions, only islands, separated by water, each with its own atmosphere. Travel here feels like moving between small worlds, where every island has a distinct rhythm shaped by community, landscape, and the sea. The journey usually begins in Male, the capital. It's compact, busy, and full of energy, a true city island where life feels fast compared to the rest of the country. Streets are tight, buildings rise close together, and the pace is practical and modern. Male is where you feel the Maldives as a functioning nation: markets, ferry terminals, offices, mosques, and local life packed into a small space surrounded by ocean. Just nearby, Hulhumale offers a different experience. More open and planned, it feels newer, calmer, and easier to walk around. Many travelers pass through Hulhumail on arrival or departure, and it's a useful place for cafes, a quick beach break, or a less hectic alternative to Mail. Beyond the capital region, the Maldives becomes what most people imagine, a wide scattering of islands, each one offering its own version of paradise. Some islands are known for the local island experience, where visitors stay in guest houses, explore island communities, and enjoy beautiful beaches with a more cultural, down-to-earth feel. These islands often include designated bikini beaches, snorkeling trips, and a friendly atmosphere where you quickly recognize familiar faces. Other islands are dedicated resort islands, built for privacy, comfort, and escape. These are the Maldives of honeymoon dreams, over-water villas, soft white sand, turquoise lagoons, and perfect sunsets. Resort islands feel quiet and polished, designed to help you slow down completely. Then there are more remote islands and outer atolls, where the Maldives feels wild and distant. These are places for travelers who want fewer crowds, deeper snorkeling, and the feeling of being far from everything except the sea. No matter where you go, the beauty of the Maldives is that travel never feels repetitive. Each island has its own identity, some lively, some quiet, some modern, some traditional, but all connected by the same ocean horizon. Beaches and coastline. In the Maldives, the coastline isn't something you visit, it's something you live beside every moment you're there. Every island is wrapped in soft sand and shallow lagoon water, creating a country where the coast is not an edge, but the main event. Maldivian beaches have a certain kind of perfection that feels almost unreal. Powder white sand, gentle palm shade, and water that shifts through shades of turquoise and blue so bright it looks lit from underneath. The sea here isn't just clear, it's crystalline, as if the ocean is trying to show you every detail beneath its surface. Resort islands often offer the most postcard-perfect coastlines. Beaches are carefully maintained, paths are quiet, and the shoreline feels private, made for barefoot walks, slow mornings, and sunsets that seem to last forever. The lagoons are usually calm, protected by coral reefs, which means the water stays gentle and ideal for swimming. On local islands, the coastline feels more real and lived in. You might see fishing boats resting near the shore, locals chatting in shaded areas, and daily island life happening only steps from the beach. Many local islands now have designated bikini beaches, where visitors can swim and sunbathe freely. Outside these areas, beaches are still beautiful, but swimwear is expected to be more modest out of respect for local culture. One of the most unique coastal features of the Maldives is the sandbank. These thin stretches of pure white sand appear like tiny islands in the middle of the ocean, sometimes only visible at certain tides. Standing on a sandbank feels like being dropped into the center of the sea, horizon in every direction, nothing but sun, wind, and water around you. The Maldives doesn't have dramatic cliffs or rugged coastlines. Its coastal magic is softer, gentler, defined by calm water and wide open space. The beauty here is not loud. It's peaceful, endless, and quietly breathtaking. And as the day ends, the coastline becomes a stage for the Maldives' most reliable wonder, sunset. The sky melts into pink and gold, the sea mirrors every color, and the islands feel like they're floating in light. Hidden gems. The Maldives is famous for its luxury resorts and postcard beaches, but some of its most memorable moments are found away from the spotlight. Hidden gems here aren't secret mountain villages or forgotten ruins. They're quieter islands, peaceful corners of lagoons, and experiences that feel untouched, as if you've stepped into a calmer version of the world. One of the best ways to find a hidden gem in the Maldives is to stay on a local island rather than a resort. Here, you wake up to real island life, fishing boats leaving at dawn, small cafes opening slowly, and beaches that feel just as beautiful, but far more personal. You'll often discover your favorite moments in places with no must-see lists, just sand, sea, and space. Some islands feel like hidden gems simply because they are less visited. The further you travel from the capital region, the more the Maldives begins to feel remote. Outer atolls offer darker night skies, quieter beaches, and a deeper sense of stillness where the ocean seems endless and time feels softer. Another hidden wonder is the Maldives house reefs, the coral reefs that sit just offshore from many islands. Some of the best snorkeling doesn't require a boat trip at all. You can step into the water from the beach and suddenly find yourself surrounded by reef fish, coral gardens, and maybe even a turtle drifting calmly past. These reefs are different on every island, which makes discovering a great one feel like finding a secret. Then there are the sandbanks, which feel like the Maldives' most magical hidden locations. These tiny stretches of pure white sand can appear in the middle of the ocean, sometimes only at low tide. Sitting on a sandbank with nothing but horizon around you feels surreal, like the world has been reduced to sun, sea, and silence. The Maldives also hides beauty in the evenings. On rare nights, you might witness bioluminescent plankton, where the shoreline sparkles blue like scattered stars. It doesn't happen on demand, which makes it feel even more special when it does. Hidden gems in the Maldives aren't always places. Sometimes they're moments, a quiet sunrise over a lagoon, a peaceful cafe on a local island, or a boat ride where dolphins appear alongside you without warning. If you travel slowly and stay curious, the Maldives gives you more than paradise. It gives you privacy, surprise, and the feeling of discovering something just for yourself. Adventure and activities. Adventure in the Maldives doesn't come from mountain climbs or fast-paced cities, it comes from the ocean. Here, the sea is your playground, your pathway, and your greatest thrill. Every island invites you to explore what lies beyond the shoreline, where calm turquoise lagoons turn into deep blue mystery. For most travelers, the first adventure begins with snorkeling. You don't need to be an expert swimmer or take a long boat trip. Many islands have house reefs just offshore, where coral gardens and tropical fish are waiting only a few strokes from the beach. Some snorkel sessions feel like drifting through an underwater postcard, with parrotfish, reef sharks, and turtles appearing when you least expect them. For a deeper experience, scuba diving in the Maldives is world-class. Divers come here for coral walls, reef channels, and the chance to spot manta rays, eagle rays, and whale sharks. Drift dives through island channels can be especially thrilling, where currents bring marine life in huge numbers and the ocean feels alive in every direction. If you prefer something above the surface, the Maldives is perfect for kayaking and paddleboarding. Lagoons are often calm and glassy, making it easy to glide across turquoise water with the sun overhead and reef shadows below. It's peaceful, but still adventurous, because the view is pure, endless ocean. One of the most exciting activities is taking a boat trip to find manta rays or dolphins. Dolphins often appear during transfers or sunset cruises, riding the waves alongside boats as if they're part of the journey. Manta encounters feel slower and more majestic, silent giants gliding through water like underwater birds. The Maldives also offers sandbank trips, where you travel out into open ocean and step onto a strip of pure white sand surrounded by blue in every direction. It feels like standing in the middle of the sea, simple, surreal, and unforgettable. Fishing remains one of the most traditional adventures. Night fishing trips are popular, giving you a taste of local island life and the quiet excitement of the ocean after dark. Even if you've never fished before, the experience feels cultural and grounding. For travelers who love speed and adrenaline, some islands offer water sports like jet skis, parasailing, and wakeboarding, especially in resort areas. But the Maldives' greatest adventure is often the most peaceful, floating above coral, drifting in warm water, and realizing you've never seen a world this blue. Bucket list highlights. The Maldives is a destination people dream about for years, and when you finally arrive, it often feels even more unreal than you expected. Bucket list moments here aren't loud or rushed. They're calm, glowing, and deeply memorable, the kind of experiences that feel like time slows down just so you can absorb them. One of the most iconic highlights is staying in an overwater villa. Waking up above the lagoon, stepping straight into warm turquoise water, and watching the sun rise across an endless horizon is one of the Maldives' most famous experiences, and one that truly lives up to the fantasy. Another unforgettable moment is walking barefoot along a beach so white it almost sparkles. The sand feels soft like flour, the palms move gently in the breeze, and the sea shifts through shades of blue that don't seem possible in real life. Even a simple beach walk here can feel like a once-in-a-lifetime memory. Snorkeling with sea turtles is a highlight many travelers never forget. You might be floating quietly over coral when one appears, calm and unbothered, gliding through the water like it belongs to another world. The best part is how natural it feels. No cages, no noise, just you and the ocean. Seeing manta rays is another bucket list experience. They move like underwater wings, massive but graceful, and the moment you spot one beneath you, everything goes quiet. For divers and snorkelers alike, it's one of the Maldives' most magical encounters. A trip to a sandbank feels like stepping onto a tiny island that shouldn't exist, a strip of perfect white sand in the middle of the sea, surrounded by blue in every direction. It's the Maldives in its purest form: sea, sky, and silence. Sunset cruises are also unforgettable. The horizon turns gold, then pink, then deep purple, and the ocean reflects every color like a mirror. If dolphins appear alongside the boat, which often happens, it becomes the kind of moment you struggle to describe afterward. And finally, one of the most personal bucket list highlights is simply experiencing the Maldives slowly. Sitting on a jetty in the evening, listening to waves under the stars, doing nothing, and realizing that nothing has never felt so perfect. Money and currency. In the Maldives, money matters in a slightly different way than most destinations, because travel here often moves between two worlds, local islands and resort islands. On one side, costs can be surprisingly manageable. On the other, luxury can climb quickly. Knowing how currency and payments work helps you stay relaxed and in control. The local currency is the Maldivian rupiah, MVR, and you'll mainly use it on local islands for cafes, shops, ferries, and everyday expenses. In tourist areas, you'll also see prices listed in US dollars, USD, especially in resorts and for excursions. USD is widely accepted, and in some places it feels like a second currency. On resorts, most payments are cashless. You'll typically charge meals, activities, and extras to your room, then pay by card at checkout. On local islands, cash is still useful, though many guesthouses and restaurants accept card payments. ATMs are most reliable in Mail and Hulhumail. On smaller islands, ATMs can be limited or unavailable, so it's best to withdraw cash before traveling far from the capital region. When exchanging money, airports and banks in mail are the easiest options. Rates can vary, so travelers often arrive with a small amount of USD and then exchange or withdraw locally. Tipping isn't always expected, but it is appreciated, especially for guides, boat crews, drivers, and housekeeping. Some resorts automatically add a service charge, so it's worth checking your bill before tipping extra. Because transfers, speedboats, domestic flights, seaplanes can be one of the biggest travel costs, budgeting ahead is important. Many travelers are surprised that getting their part between islands can cost almost as much as accommodation, especially when seaplanes are involved. Overall, money in the Maldives is easiest when you travel with a mix of card plus small cash, and you keep an eye on where you are. Local island costs feel grounded, resort costs feel premium. Transport and getting around. Getting around the Maldives is part of the adventure, not because it's complicated, but because travel here happens by boat and plane, not roads. The islands are scattered across the ocean like stepping stones, and every journey feels like moving through open water toward the next small world. Most trips begin at Valana International Airport, Mail, the main gateway into the country. From there, the Maldives opens up in three main directions: speedboat transfers, public ferries, and domestic flight seaplanes. Speedboats are the most common way travelers reach nearby islands. They're fast, direct, and often arranged by your resort or guest house. A speedboat transfer can feel like the true start of the trip: warm wind, sea spray, and the first glimpse of turquoise lagoons as you move away from the airport region. For budget travelers and local island hopping, public ferries are the most affordable option. They run on set schedules and connect many inhabited islands, but they're slower and less frequent than speedboats. Ferry rides are also a great way to see local life in motion: school kids, workers, families, and supplies all traveling together across the water. For islands further away, domestic flights connect mail to regional airports across the atolls. From there, you may take a smaller speedboat to your final island. Flights are usually quick and practical, and the views from above, coral rings and bright lagoons, can be unforgettable. For the ultimate Maldives experience, some resorts use seaplane transfers. These are more expensive, but they're one of the most iconic journeys in the country. Flying low over atolls and lagoons feels surreal, like hovering over a map made of turquoise and blue. Within islands themselves, transport is simple. Most islands are small enough to explore on foot. On larger islands like Mail or Hulhumal, you'll find taxis and small local transport options. Because sea travel depends on weather, timing matters more here than in most destinations. It's always worth confirming transfer schedules with your accommodation, especially if you have early flights or connecting journeys. In the Maldives, getting around is not just logistics, it's part of the scenery. Every transfer is a reminder that you're traveling through a country made almost entirely of ocean. Visas and entry requirements. The Maldives is one of the easiest countries in the world to enter for tourism, which is part of what makes it such a stress-free destination. Whether you're arriving for a luxury resort stay or traveling independently between local islands, the entry process is usually smooth, welcoming, and quick. For most travelers, the Maldives offers a free tourist visa on arrival, meaning you don't need to apply in advance. You simply arrive at Valana International Airport, Mail, pass through immigration, and begin your trip almost immediately. To enter, you'll need a passport valid for at least 6 months, plus basic travel documentation. Immigration may ask to see proof of onward travel, return or onward flight, accommodation details, hotel resort booking or guesthouse confirmation. Enough funds for your stay, rarely checked, but possible. Because the Maldives is spread across islands, it's common for travelers to have transfers arranged by hotels or guesthouses. Keeping your booking confirmation saved offline or in your email is useful, especially if asked at immigration. You won't usually need arrival forms beyond standard immigration checks, but requirements can change occasionally, so it's always smart to confirm travel rules shortly before departure. Once you're in, traveling around the Maldives is easy. There are no internal border checks, and island hopping is simply a matter of organizing boats and flights. The Maldives makes entry feel calm and uncomplicated, a perfect match for the relaxed atmosphere waiting outside the airport doors. Safety and health. The Maldives is widely seen as a safe, peaceful destination, a place where travel feels calm and unhurried. Most trips are trouble-free, and visitors are met with warmth and respect. The biggest safety concerns here are rarely crime-related. They're usually connected to the sun, sea, and water activities. Personal safety is generally very good. Violent crime against tourists is uncommon, especially on resort islands. On local islands and in Mail, normal precautions apply. Keep valuables secure, stay aware in busy areas, and avoid leaving phones or wallets unattended, but the overall atmosphere remains safe and welcoming. The real risks come from the environment. The Maldives sun is strong, and sunburn can happen quickly, even on cloudy days. Using high-factor sunscreen, staying hydrated, and wearing a hat or light cover-up during peak hours makes a huge difference. Many travelers underestimate how draining the heat can be, especially when spending long days in the water. Ocean safety matters too. Lagoons are often calm, but currents can be stronger around reef edges and channel areas. If you're snorkeling, it's best to stay within safe zones, avoid venturing too far alone, and listen to local advice. Wearing fins and using a snorkeling vest can help less confident swimmers feel safer. If you're diving, choose reputable operators and follow guidance closely. The Maldives is world-class for diving, but strong currents and deep drop-offs mean safety procedures should always be taken seriously. Healthcare is available, with the best facilities in Mail. Resorts often have medical staff or quick access to emergency services, while local islands may have small clinics for basic needs. For anything serious, treatment is usually handled through Mail, so travel insurance is strongly recommended. Food safety is generally good, especially in resorts and established guest houses. Drinking bottled or filtered water is recommended, and it's wise to stay cautious with dehydration in the heat. Mosquitoes can appear in some areas, especially after rain, so repellent is helpful, though the Maldives is typically less mosquito-heavy than many tropical countries. Overall, the Maldives is a destination where safety comes from being sensible, respecting the ocean, protecting yourself from the sun, and traveling with basic preparation. Do that, and the Maldives becomes exactly what it promises to be: effortless, peaceful, and unforgettable. Communication in the Maldives is simple and traveler-friendly, especially compared to many remote island destinations. While the Maldives has its own unique language and culture, visitors generally find it easy to connect, ask for help, and stay organized, whether they're in a luxury resort or on a local island. The official language is Dhivehi, spoken across the islands. You'll see it written in the beautiful Thanana script, especially on signs, documents, and local shops. However, English is widely spoken, particularly in resorts, hotels, airports, dive centers, and tourist businesses. On local islands, English is still common, especially among younger people and anyone working in hospitality. The most useful communication tool in the Maldives is often WhatsApp. Many guest houses, tour operators, and transfer companies use it for everything: confirming speedboat schedules, arranging excursions, sharing locations, and answering quick questions. It's normal to message rather than call. Mobile coverage is generally strong around populated islands, and Wi-Fi is available in most accommodation. Resorts tend to have reliable internet, while some local islands may have slower speeds depending on location and demand, but it's usually good enough for maps, messaging, and booking activities. Translation apps aren't essential for most travelers, but they can still help if you're visiting quieter local islands or want to learn a few basic phrases. Even a simple thank you or greeting is appreciated and can make interactions warmer. Overall, communication in the Maldives is smooth, friendly, and modern, a quiet reminder that even in the middle of the ocean, you're never too far from help, connection, or the next boat schedule. Time, power, and connectivity. Time in the Maldives feels different, slower, softer, and shaped more by sunlight and tide than by strict schedules. But behind that relaxed island atmosphere, the Maldives is surprisingly modern and well-connected, making travel easy whether you're on a resort island or exploring locally. The Maldives uses Maldives Time, MVT, which is UTC+5, and the country does not use daylight saving time. This keeps things simple year-round. One small detail to be aware of: some resorts operate on island time, setting their clocks slightly ahead of male time to give guests longer evenings of daylight. It's not common everywhere, but it can happen, so it's worth checking your resort's time setting if you're coordinating transfers. Electricity is generally reliable across the Maldives. Resorts have stable power supplies, while local islands usually have dependable electricity too, with only occasional outages in more remote areas. The Maldives uses 230V 50 Hz electricity. Plug types commonly include Type G, UK style, and sometimes Type D. Many hotels provide multi-socket outlets, but bringing a universal travel adapter is still the safest choice. Connectivity is good. Wi-Fi is available in most resorts and guest houses. Resort Wi-Fi tends to be stronger and more consistent, while some local islands may have slower speeds during peak evening hours. Mobile data works well across inhabited islands, and local SIM cards can be purchased if you want reliable internet while island hopping. Charging devices is rarely a problem. Most accommodation has plenty of outlets, and power banks are useful for long boat days or excursions. Overall, the Maldives offers a great balance. It feels remote and peaceful, but still gives you the tools to stay organized, connected, and comfortable throughout your trip. Useful apps and resources. The Maldives may feel like a simple escape: beaches, lagoons, slow days, but the right apps can make your trip smoother, cheaper, and far less stressful. These tools help with transfers, weather, planning, and staying connected while island hopping. Maps and navigation. Even though you won't be driving, maps are still useful for finding ferry terminals, cafes, shops, clinics, and beaches on local islands. Google Maps, best for mail, Hulhumail, and local island navigation. Maps.me, great offline backup if your signal drops. Transfers and getting around. Transport is the biggest logistics part of the Maldives, so planning is key. WhatsApp, the most useful tool for transfers. Hotels and boat operators often confirm everything here. Rome to Rio, helpful for visualizing travel routes and timings. Google Maps, great for locating ports and terminals in Mail Hulhumail. Accommodation and booking. Whether you're staying in luxury or traveling local, reviews are everything. Booking.com, excellent for guest houses and resorts. Agoda, often strong for deals, especially in Asia. Airbnb, good for longer stays, availability varies. Money and budget tools. The Maldives can be expensive, so keeping track helps. XE currency, convert Maldivian rupiah, MVR, USD, GBP, EUR easily. Splitwise, perfect for couples, groups, splitting excursions and meals. Weather and ocean conditions. Sea conditions can affect boat transfers and excursions. Windy, brilliant for wind, rain, and sea forecasts. AccuWeather, or your preferred weather app. Quick daily updates. Snorkeling and diving. If you plan to dive or explore reefs often. PADI app, helpful for dive planning, centers, and certifications. Marine Life ID guides, apps or PDFs, fun for recognizing reef fish and rays. Document backup and travel safety. Google Drive, Dropbox, keep passport, travel insurance, bookings, and transfer details saved offline. Iralo ESIM services, useful if your phone supports ESIM, great for staying connected immediately. As the last glow of twilight fades from the horizon and the Indian Ocean turns to a deep, starlit indigo, our journey through the Maldives comes to its rest. We have drifted across ancient atolls and walked along shores of powdered salt, finding peace in the rhythm of the tides and the vastness of the sea. The stillness of these islands, held in the immense embrace of the blue, is now yours to keep. Like a boat anchored in a quiet lagoon, let your thoughts settle and find their stillness. If this maritime chronicle brought you serenity tonight, please like this video and subscribe to Apex Atlas. Your presence helps our small light shine further across the map. To bring the colors of the atolls into your own home, our Maldives Serenity collection of art and maps is available now in the shop below. But for now, the trade winds have softened to a whisper. The water is glass. Let the slow, deep pulse of the ocean carry you into a dreamless and restorative sleep. Thank you for drifting with us tonight. Sleep well.